Assembly elections draw closer, political temperatures across the state are rising, not just in campaign rallies but within communities whose votes could prove decisive. The Christian electorate that comprises nearly 6 to 7% of the population has now emerged as a key battleground. Vijay's entry and natural affinity to the Christian voters has the DMK rattled. So far, the minority population in Tamil Nadu at a significant 12%, Christians and Muslims combined, had stood like a rock behind the DMK-Congress alliance. But could that change now? DMK is being seen as doubling down on its Christian voter outreach ahead of 2026, worried that Vijay could be a natural magnet for Christian voters. Deputy Chief Minister Udhayanidhi Stalin invoked his wife's Christian faith and claimed Christianity and Dravidian ideology are, quote, essentially the same. Even the Christian leadership is now being seen supporting one or the other, maximizing what they can get from either the one in government or a potential chief minister in the future. So is there a clear and present danger to the DMK fortress, and who is really ahead in this race for Christian votes? First up though, take a look at how Vijay's TVK held a convention earlier this month, and these are the key takeaways where they announced, the executive committee officially announced and declared Vijay as the party's chief ministerial candidate for 2026 elections. But more importantly, they announced that he would be leading the face, or would be the leading face of the anti-DMK front in the upcoming elections. The party also passed a resolution authorizing Vijay to take all final decisions regarding electoral alliances and pacts, basically a signal that Vijay is ready to form a larger coalition as long as it is anti-DMK. And a rather apparent face-off is the fight for the Christian vote bank. After Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin's outreach, TVK chief also held a similar Christian program to make an appeal to the voters, with both parties actively courting Christian voters in a bid to solidify or expand their support base ahead of next year's elections. The effort was reciprocated. At both these events, there were leaders or members of the Christian community that threw their weight behind the respective leaders. But one of them also happened to be the Tamil Nadu Minorities Commission chief. So listen in, and this of course is also raising questions over secularism, quote unquote, by these governments in Tamil Nadu. Take a look.
கிறிஸ்தவர்கள் அனைத்து கிறிஸ்தவர்களும் இஸ்லாமியர்களும் எல்லா சிறுபான்மையினரும் அவரோடு இருப்பார்கள். கடவுள் நம்மோடு இருப்பதைப் போல நாமும் அவரோடு இருக்கிறோம் என்பதை பலத்த கரவொலி எழுப்பி அவரோடு இருக்கிறோம் என்பதை தெரிவித்துக் கொண்டு, என்றும் அவர் நம்மோடு இருக்கிறார், இயேசு நம்மோடு இருப்பதைப் போல அவரும் நம்மோடு இருக்கிறார் என்று கூறி அமைகிறேன். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
இந்த சிறுபான்மை மக்களுக்காக கடந்த பல ஆண்டுகளாய் நடந்து கொண்டிருக்கிற திராவிட ஆட்சியிலே எங்களுடைய கோரிக்கைகள், நிறைய கோரிக்கைகள் இருந்தது. அதுல சில கோரிக்கைகள், முக்கியமான கோரிக்கைகள், அதை கூட நாங்கள் போராடி போராடி பெற முடியாமல் சோர்ந்து போய் வந்திருக்கிறோம். எங்களுக்கு ஒரு சில கோரிக்கைகள் இந்த அன்பு தளபதி விஜய் அவர்கள் மூலியமாய், புரட்சி தளபதி விஜய் மூலியமாய் அந்த கோரிக்கைகளை நிச்சயமாய் நிறைவேற்றுவார்.
Not just this, both parties have been going all out in their efforts to woo this voter base. For example, Stalin and his deputy Udhayanidhi have sharply increased attendance at Christmas events across the state, signaling top-level political attention. Ministers have also been instructed to attend Christmas programs in their respective regions. On the other hand, Vijay himself addressed that large Christmas gathering in Mahabalipuram, signaling visible minority engagement. The Tamil Nadu government has resolved a long-pending deadlock with the community by allowing minority colleges to form their own selection committees, clearing over 350 faculty and principal appointments in Christian institutions. Meanwhile, Vijay repeatedly underlines TVK's secular ideology, positioning the party as ideologically safe for minorities. Stalin government laid the foundation stone for a memorial to Bartholomew Ziegenbald, recognizing Christian contributions to Tamil culture, as they say. Meanwhile, Vijay uses Bible narratives in speeches to build an emotional and cultural resonance with the Christian audiences. Tamil Nadu government has also extended CM's breakfast scheme to aided schools, directly benefiting many Christian-run educational institutions. On the other hand, TVK General Secretary N. Anand met bishops and church leaders, compensating for Vijay's limited personal appearances in this matter. So, As far as wooing the Christian community in Tamil Nadu is concerned, who has the edge exactly? Because one is projecting Dravidian and Christianity as the same. The other is saying that Dravidian parties have failed to take care of Christian minorities and Vijay is the only answer. That debate is coming up.
So we will have full-fledged manifesto committee. We will have full-fledged our vision for Tamil Nadu, and our leaders will come to Tamil Nadu and they will announce the various guarantees. And to fulfill those guarantees, naturally, we have to be the part of the government.
Let's go across to our guest, Narayan Tirupati, Chief Spokesperson of Tamil Nadu BJP, Pularao political analyst, Terumozi Prasanna, spokesperson of the TVK, and R. Rajagopalan, senior journalist, all joining us on the show. I want to begin with Pularao first up. You know, there is this priest at Vijay's rally who said, we have put our concerns ahead of quote-unquote Dravidian parties for very long, but even our most key concerns are not being fulfilled by them. And our entire hope is now on Vijay. He's our savior, our messiah. Is this really troubling the DMK, and could this have real ramifications for the DMK electoral prospects?
You see, basically all minorities in India will go along with, the secure option. The DMK is already in power, a known force, and there's a good chance of coming back. Why should they go for an untested horse with very long odds?
Maybe they feel Vijay has a real chance?
No, I mean, I would like to say my friend Prasannaji is there. Maybe he has a chance, maybe he doesn't have a chance. But who would you choose? DMK has been making the right sounds. Vijay also has been making sounds. But DMK is in power. They have the gift of giving things away. Just as it was done in Bihar recently. Very nicely, they pressed the button one day before the election. They did it in Andhra also. They did it in Telangana, they did it in Karnataka. Everyone does it. DMK is in power. DMK hasn't been in power 70 years.
So are you suggesting that apart from these items that I've listed, where they have already made certain concessions or have given out certain benefits to the Christian community, more could follow from the DMK before model code of conduct?
And a vote bank is a vote bank is a vote bank. That's why they call it vote banks. It's like, the hierarchy of the minorities in Tamil Nadu or Kerala and maybe some other states. The hierarchy is very organized in Tamil Nadu and Kerala, and they follow the leadership. The leadership all seem to be sitting with the chief minister. Let's be very balanced about it. How many did you see? The hierarchy is important. The minorities, the Muslims and the Christians have well-structured hierarchies. In Tamil Nadu, it goes back from the Muslim League of Jinnah's days. The same hierarchy goes along getting Muslim votes. And the Christians have education institutions, trust for the last 100 years. And there's a hierarchy there. So therefore, the hierarchy, the power structure, they're all with the DMK at the moment. Will they change in the next month, 6 months? I don't know. Yes, DMK, Vijay is a fresh face, but he's untested.
But Pularao, will you admit at least that all of these movements we are seeing within the DMK indicate that they are nervous, they are worried, which is why they are also making overt outreach to the Christian community.
If you're not worried, anyone, you'll lose your elections. You should be worried, you should not be overconfident, you should be very hardworking, all of that.
Hardworking means hardworking
in
means
another
giving
way-
more into the demands of the Christian community,
Absolutely,
giving
in
more
another way,
doors, or giving more concessions.
I have a long-held belief that the challenger should be stealthy. The challenger makes so much noise that the fellow who is being challenged, he gives everything. As you said, the list is being given as if it is a free checkbook. The challenger should have been more stealthy.
Okay.
Challenger should have surprised the government. He has said, "I am going to do this." They say, "I am going to do that."
Okay,
Therefore,
interesting.
remember
Interesting.
one thing.
Can I bring in Ms. Prasanna on this? The challenger is too much in the face. He's talking about Vijay, of course, here, which means that the DMK that is already in power and has traditionally held this vote bank like a rock could make moves to negate the Vijay factor well before it becomes they come to the ballot.
Okay, good evening, everyone. When you say like DMK was holding those vote bank, any vote bank is not giving like a patent to anyone. Is that the truth? No, right? Anyone who comes and anyone who they believe they will vote. It's true that in the past they have been alliance with Congress. That is why minorities believed them and they were supporting them. Now they realized that it's not going to work out and they see our chief Vijay as an alternative. That is why everyone is like coming towards him and then saying like he is going to win the election and he is going to be the CM so that he can fulfill the demands. So of course DMK is scared of our chief that all the vote bank, it is not only minorities vote bank, I would say all of the vote banks, like even recent surveys are showing that our vote banks are growing enormously like from the past. So they together now both the parties like they have lost confidence in the their minorities vote bank. That is the reason they are saying like now even DMK has shifted their position of Christmas celebration from Chennai to Tirunelveli to more concentrate on that population and they see them as a vote bank. But people knows like how many of the promises they have fulfilled, how many of the especially the promises given to minorities have been fulfilled. Like our joint secretary said in the press meet, like they have been given the basic need of the burial ground. They were like fighting for that till. It is not fulfilled. In July 2025, like recent 6 months ago only, they were like saying like allocate 2 acres of land wherever feasible. For the past 4 years, then what they have done to the people. So people knows like how they have treated them and towards the election, how they are treating them. So they will feel the difference. So
Okay. As Rajagopalan, interestingly, our TVK representative mentioned that internal survey of the TVK is suggesting they have a vote share, a potential vote share of anywhere between 30 to 35%. Is the TVK also, kind of emphasizing the masses that may come for Vijay's rallies into conversion of votes? R. Rajagopal.
Shivani, TVK, Tamilaga Vettri Kazhagam, Vijay has made inroads and he has a groundswell. No doubt. He should not be like Chirag Paswan or Prashant Kishore in Bihar. My point is, Vijay is appealing to the youngsters, first-time voters. And second important thing, Shivani, Vijay has created an atmosphere. It rattled the DMK, which is already facing anti-incumbency. Right. And the SIR has exposed DMK. Not only that, the religious conversions are taking place. That is what R.N. Ravi, governor, has written to central government. And DMK has polarized these Hindu, Christian, Muslims like that. My understanding simply is that TVK will definitely make inroads into the vote bank of every political party.
Exactly. Not just the DMK.
Not just the DMK.
But what do you make of this 35% almost vote share that they're giving to themselves? And they're saying that 90% of the public in Tamil Nadu now wants a complete system change.
Yes, that is correct. But I don't think 30% is a huge one. I would estimate it between 15 and 20 or even you go up to... My point is, Shivani, apart from that, Tamil Nadu has 234 MLAs. I would put Vijay will get 40 seats in assembly, roughly.
Okay. All right.
Don't go by percentage. Therefore, Tamil Nadu is going for a coalition government. DMK will be routed out in Tamil Nadu because of anti-incumbency is more in Tamil Nadu. DMK has created an atmosphere. It is Dravidian versus Hindutva poll bank. Therefore, TVK will definitely make inroad. That is why DMK is rattled with the Christian votes. I am very sure Christian Muslim votes will go en bloc to Mr. Vijay. And Vijay has also declared in his election manifesto that he is not anti-God. Therefore, he is also attracting Hindu votes. In nutshell, I say...
He is projecting... Yes, complete. Yes, finish, Raja.
In nutshell, it's a tough fight. DMK will not be in the field for a battle because it is going to be an election between ADMK and TVK.
ADMK and TVK. Tirupati ji, I want to come to you because, interestingly, even as Vijay projects himself as an anti-DMK face and he wants to build a anti-DMK coalition, it's not really looking very rosy for the BJP and the AIADMK because their signals to Vijay are not being reciprocated. In fact, AIADMK leader recently, Sengatarian, left for the TVK and he has claimed recently that more will come. So actually, he could end up disrupting your alliance as well.
No, see, actually, I don't understand what these signals mean. You have said that he is not accepting those signals. What signals is that? We have never given any signal to anyone. So please understand.
No, AIADMK, no, sir, 1 second. Your alliance partner AIADMK is very clearly giving signals. Let's not deny
what
that.
Signal? No, see, what signals? We have very clearly said only one thing. Those who wants to oppose, those who wants to uproot this DMK government should join together. This is what we have said, and that is what we have been saying for more than 1.5 years. So if you mean that is the signal, I can't help it. See, we want to uproot a government which is not doing well, and whether it is Mr. Vijay or whoever it is, they have to think that to remove this government, they all has to join together and finish that. But to me, Shivani, it's very, very shocking that no media or any political party has questioned the communal attitude of DMK in addressing these meetings. Even Mr. Pullarao, who is very soft in his approach, has not condemned the DMK or other parties who have indulged themselves talking politics in religious functions and celebrations. And these people have been saying that BJP is communal. Now DMK is communal. Why should they? See, there is nothing wrong in participating in a religious function. But talking politics, discussing politics is definitely communal.
Not just politics. The Tamil Nadu Minorities Commission member himself is saying that Stalin is with us, like Jesus is with us, and so on and so forth. Pullarao, you want to respond to that because naturally questions will arise. If you do this to woo any kind of religious vote bank, how are you different to the very party you oppose? Mr. Rao, I'm not getting your audio.
There was a very nice signal which we all saw today, which came from Delhi. I saw a beautiful picture of Prime Minister Narendra Modi in a church, and he looked better than all the clergy there. He looked like a bishop himself.
Did he speak anything about any other political party?
He looked.
I very clearly said.
I like it.
One second, one by one. Mr. Tirupati and Mr. Pullarao can speak. One second, speak directly to each other. But Mr. Pullarao, let's not obfuscate the demarcation that the BJP is making. That at any religious event, if the PM was with the Christian community today on Christmas, one second, sir, if the PM was with the Christian community today on Christmas, he didn't say that, he didn't raise any political rhetoric at the event. That is the distinction that the BJP is making.
Let me finish my sentence.
Yes.
The Tirupati Sahib, let me finish my sentence. You see, I liked it, I said. And I also added a compliment. But our respected Prime Minister looked better than all the clergy there because he does have that radiance coming out of him. And I said, it's fine. It's a good signal, I said. Did I say it's a bad signal, Narayan sir? I didn't say it's a bad signal.
When we are discussing politics,
I said it's a good signal. I am happy. I don't go to churches, honestly. I don't go. I'm a practicing Hindu. No problem about
No,
it.
no,
But
sir, the distinction here is, Narayan Tirupati, I'll coming to you next. The distinction here is, one, he didn't raise political rhetoric or try to
not
seek
necessary. It's a
votes from the
signal.
Christian community. It's a
It's a good
signal.
signal.
No doubt
I'm
about that.
happy
It's
for
an
it.
outreach and it's a signal. The second distinction is that, in this case, the Prime Minister was there on a certain event. He, met with the community, etc. If he is attacked, or if the BJP, for example, otherwise is attacked when they engage with the Hindu community or bat for Hindu rights, then the BJP is called communal. But here, the Tamil Nadu Minorities Commission member is going on to hail a certain party and a certain party leader, but that is not communal. Mr. Tirupati, is that what the point here?
Not only that, the priests from Christian community, they have been talking politics. They have abused the Hindu religion and also the BJP, saying that we are communal. BJP has never, ever, we have abused any community, any religion, or we have not indulged in any hate speech. But whereas the DMK wants to eradicate Sanatana Dharma, we have to understand this. This is what they are like. All the ministers have been abusing, demeaning, disrespecting the Hindu faith. What happened in Tiruparankundram? That is what has happened. The chief minister is keeping quiet when he's trying to tweet for so many things. The DMK, they are saying that the minority rights are being curtailed.
No, fair enough. I think that's a larger.
Majority rights are being curtailed.
That's a larger debate of whether all parties are equally communal when it comes to looking for vote
BJP
banks.
is not communal. That's what I'm saying. DMK is communal.
Okay. Yes, R. Rajagopal, you wanted to come in.
No, I would like to say that DMK chief minister is interested in talking about Palestine, Indore, the Akhlaq, Kanpur controversies, etc. But he conveniently ignored Bangladesh Hindu massacre, Sri Lankan Tamil massacre, and moreover, as Narayan Tirupati said, Deepam controversy, either TVK, Vijay or DMK, they don't speak it out because it polarizes them. And Hindu votes will not be given, Christian votes will be masked by the two parties. Therefore, my simple arithmetic, having seen the politics of Tamil Nadu from 1967 onwards, Srivani, I say there is a sea change with the entry of Vijay. The DMK is rattled, DMK will lose the government, and Dravidian movement versus Hindutva is going to be the polarization. 2026 is going to see a coalition government. DMK will be voted out of power because they did not implement any of the promises during 2021 poll manifestos.
Yes, I want to go across to our TVK representative, Ms. Prasanna, one more time. DMK is playing it very differently now. Not only have they upped their appearances at Christian events, etc., which is absolutely fine, barring the objection that Narayan Tirupati has made. But, the DMK is saying now, using this pitch, that Dravidian ideology and Christian ideology is the same. They are recognizing Christian contribution to Dravidian culture and language. How will you counter this as a newcomer?
They will say all those Dravidian ideologies come from this. They will say atheist, and they will say this ideology will Christian ideologies came from here, like that. So they will say anything to win the votes, but people know that it is not going to work out. They will say, in one event, DMK people will go and say, we are Christian and we are Muslim. They can say anything, but people knows what they have done, nothing. And there is one of the panel members mentioned that there is lot of anti-incumbency. Now it is more than 50%. If it is even 25%, the government is going to it is going to be lose anything.
Okay.
Now DMK is I would say it is like a sinking ship, and whoever is going in alliance with sinking ship, they will also sink along with them. That is what we are seeing.
Interestingly, you say that because the Congress is also kind of testing waters now, wanting to see if they can come in alliance with the Vijay or dump the DMK altogether. But so, Ms. Prasanna, I want to ask you, how much can you tell us about who you are willing to ally with? Who are you in discussions with to ally?
From starting, we are very clear that we will accept the alliance from the party which is going to accept our chief as CM candidate.
face, exactly.
That is, we are for sure, and we have given all the all the decision making rights to our chief. So our high command will tell us who are all they are going alliance with. But I am reiterating, we are very sure that we haven't started party to make anyone else a CM. We are very sure that whoever comes with alliance with us should accept our chief as a CM candidate.
Exactly. So Narayan Tirupati, this
now
is...
I want to complete one minute.
Yes.
Like people will say without alliance how you can win and all those things. You were mentioning about 30 to 35%. Actually, sir was mentioning we were around only 20%, but we crossed 20% past 4 months or 5 months back itself, long back actually talking. We are more than 35% now, and we are going to win the election with alliance or without alliance.
Okay,
that is
fair enough. Final response from Narayan Tirupati then, that you have to accept Vijay as the chief ministerial face if you have to have any hope of any alliance in this larger anti-DMK coalition. And I don't see that happening.
No, see, this is very clear. Our NDA in Tamil Nadu is headed by Mr. Edappadi Palaniswamy, the AIDMK, and he will be the chief ministerial candidate face for the coming elections. And we have very clear, whatever the TVK says, it's a myth. They say it is 30%, 40%, 50%. See, they have not yet contested in the elections. Nobody can say that TVK will get this. Maybe Mr. Rajagopalan's view on, even I differ with him in Mr. Rajagopalan's view about the TVK's vote share, because nobody knows, even they don't know. So it is, an immature calculation by the TVK itself that they are big and all those things.
Final comments.
What I'm saying is that you want the DMK government to be uprooted, you please come into the fold of NDA. That's it we are saying.
Yeah, but he's not going to do that. He wants to be the CM. Yes,
That's
I strongly want to say they were saying it's a myth and all those things. Even in 1967, people see that as a myth. Even in 1977, people see that as a myth. Even when Mr. N.T. Ramarao started, they will see that, they would have seen the same thing. But we are going to win the election. That is for sure.
Rajagopalan, 30 seconds.
It's not
Congress is in a dilemma. Congress has got 45 assembly seats, 1 Rajya Sabha, 3 ministers if Mr. Vijay is made as a chief minister. That is the formula. And second thing, of course, what Narayan Tirupati said is right. My understanding is TVK has made inroads in Tamil Nadu politics that rattles the DMK, and DMK government will be thrown out.
Puller out, 30 seconds.
You see, in the last 6 months, all incumbent governments have won. Maharashtra, Haryana, Jharkhand, Bihar. Maybe there is a pro-incumbency way. That's up to you.
Okay, all right. I'll leave it on that note. I do thank all of our guests for joining us. We'll continue to watch this space very closely. But our second big focus tonight is on what's happening in Bangladesh, because the attacks on minorities are not ending. In fact, we are now getting some breaking updates. According to Bangladesh media, another case of mob violence has emerged following Deepu Chandra Das's killing. Amrit Mandal, alias Samrat, who was 29 years old, was beaten to death allegedly by a mob. The incident occurred at around 11 p.m. on Wednesday night in Hosaindanga Old Market in Pangsha, Upazila. This is the report that is coming to us, that another minority youth, clearly a Hindu youth, has been killed by mob in Bangladesh barely a week after Deepu Chandra Das's brutal and barbaric killing in Bangladesh as well. So what's really happening as far as Bangladesh is concerned? After a bomb attack on the eve of Christmas that killed one, more attacks coming to light against Dhaka University as well in Bangladesh. The Madhur canteen at Dhaka University was vandalized. A man chanting religious slogans, quoting Qazi Nazrul Islam, carried out the destruction both inside and outside the university campus. Remember earlier, on the night of December 18 and 19, widespread unrest erupted following Hadi's death. And who were on targets? Protesters even targeted offices of 2 leading newspapers, Pratham Allo and the Daily Star. This goes on to show that this unrest and even Deepu Das's lynching have nothing to do with India or its policies. This was the original blame that was being pinned on India. People said anti-India sentiment is responsible for this. But this is an anti-liberal, anti-democracy movement in Bangladesh running amok even as Yunus and his ministers fan the fire. Is the US finally waking up to this? A bipartisan group of US representatives sent a letter to Interim Chief Advisor Muhammad Yunus ahead of the 2026 February polls. Their key messages included: 1. Restoration of a free and fair election. They expressed concern over the blanket ban of the Awami League and also raised concerns on the revival of a flawed international crimes tribunal that could undermine electoral credibility and disenfranchise voters. Things are turning against Yunus internally as well. After initially using Osman Hadi's killing as a ruse to attack India, now his own brother has blamed Yunus' administration. His brother has blamed Yunus, saying he was killed under your regime, so Yunus is answerable. He said Yunus has to take responsibility, that all of this is a ploy to delay upcoming elections. He even threatened that Yunus should leave if he is unable to serve justice in this matter. But let's get you more as far as this latest news that is coming in is concerned. Another case of mob violence emerging in Bangladesh. Following Deepu Chandra Das's lynching, Amrit Mandal, alias Samrat, has now been beaten to death by a mob. The incident occurred at around 11 p.m. on Wednesday night. Let me go across to my colleague Siddhant, who's joining us with more on this. Siddhant.
That's right, Shivani. This is being reported by Prothemalo. And now they have reported that there is this another case of mob lynching which took place in Bangladesh on Wednesday, where a Hindu youth, Amrit Mandal, has been beaten to death in Rajbari. In fact, this has been confirmed to Prothemalo by the local police station. Amrit Mandal, alias Samrat, was a leader of the Samrat Bahini, listed by the police. He was the son of Akshay Mandal, a resident of Hussain Danga village. Police is right now investigating the matter, and the incident has created tension in the area. Now, the reports also say that he was involved in some kind of extortion, etc., etc. But Shivani, this is the second incident in a week where Hindu has been targeted, has been mob lynched in Bangladesh, and now various reports are telling different reports are telling different story. But cops have to say that they are right now investigating the matter.
Right, Siddhant. Very, very concerning updates coming in from Bangladesh, and there's no end to this Islamist fire that has broken out across the country. There is now some global alarm as far as these atrocities are concerned. Even internally, as I mentioned, there is pressure on Yunus' administration. So will he finally act under this pressure that is coming from all quarters? That's coming up with our guests. I want to go across to Sabir Mustafa, senior journalist who's joining us. We are getting reports, Mr. Mustafa, of another Hindu youth being lynched in Bangladesh. This is barely a week after Deepu Das's very barbaric killing. What do you make of these developments?
Well, the Amrit Mandal case is not as straightforward as the Deepu Das case. Deepu Das was a communal lynching. There's absolutely no doubt that he was accused of blasphemy, which nobody has been able to verify or corroborate. And so it was a rumor, and he was just pushed into the arms of the mob, which went ahead and beat him to death. But Amrit Mandal, it seems, there may be some other circumstances involved, because the police are saying they have arrested one of his accomplices, associates, who is a Muslim, and that they're accused of running an extortion gang. So I would, be out caution about bracketing Amrit Mandal's death with Deepu Das. There may be different kind of.
But it does speak to the kind of law and order situation that is prevailing in Bangladesh.
Yes, this is exactly what I was going to say. That the one thing that kind of binds these two are the impunity with which mobs go about wreaking vengeance on people they think have done something wrong. Now, this has been going on throughout the past year and a half since Muhammad Yunus has been in power. Now, mob killing is not absolutely new in Bangladesh, but they used to happen very, kind of rarely and on specific cases. But this time, over the last year and a half, these mobs have been organizing and attacking people for various reasons: political reasons, religious reasons, or just vengeance, personal reasons. And they have been getting away with it. Police have been unable to, intervene or bring to justice any of these perpetrators of mob violence.
What we saw, for example, in the last few
This has
days
been termed,
is, for example, Dhaka University coming under attack, media houses coming under attack, journalists being threatened that apparently a student group is threatening that if you don't remove a certain journalist, then, we're going to take action. So this just tells you that there is a certain element of an Islamist mindset that has taken over. Anybody who doesn't agree with you, anybody who doesn't see eye to eye is being brandished as either anti-national or a terrorist. And we're also seeing, for example, the BNP heir who has landed in Bangladesh, one of his first comments have been how the country is going to be run according to the teachings of Prophet Muhammad. How do you see this?
Well, I think that he has to say, because he's going to an election. And since I would say more than 95% of the voters are Muslims, and many of them are devout Muslims, so these, commitment to run the country according to the, teachings of the Prophet Muhammad. Even Sheikh Hasina used to say that the country will be run according to the Declaration of Medina, which was promulgated by Muhammad many hundred years ago. So everyone plays to that religious sentiment, and nobody wants to alienate these people. So I would not put too much emphasis on that, because BNP, if you look at its past, they have been more or less a kind of bourgeois nationalist party, but which has governed in a secular way. They have not imposed any religious laws on the country.
But sir, do you feel NND Dubey, former DIG, BSF and DG NI is also joining us? But Mr. Mustafa, a quick comment from you before I go to him. Do you feel that there is indeed a rise in Islamist passions in Bangladesh, something Muhammad Yunus himself is guilty of fanning, and his ministers particularly?
Absolutely. I've said this many, many times in different platforms and in my writings, that since August 5 last year, many Islamist forces, which used to be on the fringes, and they were kept on the fringes by both the Awami League and the BNP, they came into the mainstream, and they came very close to the power base. And Yunus kind of not only tolerated them, but kind of condoned their actions. And all the smashing of sculptures and attack on religious, even Muslim religious institutions like the Sufi graveyards, those things have gone on with impunity. So yes, absolutely, the government has to take responsibility. And not only that, I would say that the government treated them as their kind of supporters. So the government, of course, is responsible for the rise of this, extremist violence.
NND Dubey, I want to come to you. What we're witnessing, initially people tried to pin the blame on India, suggesting that, this anti-India sentiment because India has treated Bangladesh in a certain way, which is why it led to, for example, Deepu Das's lynching. But none of them is cutting eyes, because you're seeing these Islamist groups attack cultural symbols of Bangladesh, not of India. They're attaching cultural symbols of the 1971 liberation war. They're attacking their own cultural icons, political icons of the past. They're attacking, centers of culture and art, possibly a Bangla identity. This is not because of anything that India could have done. This is a pure free run for Islamists.
Actually, the situation is in a very mixed symmetry, because if you see, the Jamaat never favored the India's role in liberation of Bangladesh. So the cultural monuments, the national pride, the things which you are referring of 1971, basically these are the evidences, these are the, you can say, national signs Bangladesh used to take pride of. But the question is that Jamaat, who is adamant to bring Sharia in the land of Bangladesh, never liked it. They have always been opposing these things. So they just want to wipe it out from the land of Bangladesh. And that's why they are one of the main stakeholders in the upcoming elections of the February 2026. Now, my apprehension is that the killings and the killings on the name of, you can say, religion, minority killings, all these things are going to increase the moment Jamaat will assess whether they are losing the ground, because I'm worried about in the month of January and the beginning of February. They must be calculating currently where they are standing in the entire matrix of political process in Bangladesh in the February. So there is a competition, as you know. BNP is obviously leading the race, but Jamaat is basically chasing.
Yes.
And the day Jamaat will find that they are not holding the ground in Bangladesh, they are again going to do the same thing in Bangladesh, and the killings and violence are going to increase because they will then disrupt the elections which are going to be held in February.
Yes. No, already Hadi's brother has also now, in a way, said this. That his killing was also, in a way, a tactic to delay elections. We are getting these feelers from security establishment as well that, there is this entire Yunus Jamaat-e-Islami hand-in-glove plan, because both don't feel that they will have relevance if this political instability or on-ground instability goes.
Absolutely, you have touched the nerve. Actually, the Hadi's killing is one of the attempt. This is one of the area which Jamaat is going to further explore to make their ground wider in Bangladesh. Because killings of a student leader like Hadi, it's going to help them. Because then people will get radicalized. They will be anti-India.
Yes.
And the advantage of all these things are going in the favor of Jamaat.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. If Jamaat will assess that they are just behind in the competition in the month of January and by end of January, they are going to increase the attack. They are going to do a similar type of action in Bangladesh to hold the ground. To make the anti-India sentiment. That is the biggest issue which I'm looking for right now.
Absolutely. No, that is the biggest worry that everybody feels, that this is going to increase because the elements that want to stay in control are actually the ones who are perhaps behind what is the unrest in Bangladesh. I do thank both of our guests for joining us. I also spoke to Mohibul Hasan Chaudhry, former Deputy Minister in Sheikh Hasina government, on whether the pressure that is finally seemingly building even from US quarters on Yunus and from within will work. Take a look.
Mr. Chaudhry, thanks a lot for speaking to us here on PlainSpeak. I want to begin by asking you, finally, for the first time, we are seeing some pressure building from US, for example, on the Yunus administration to suggest that if you ban political actors like the Awami League, the elections cannot be considered free and fair. All parties and all, political actors must be allowed to participate. How do you feel about that, first up?
First of all, it goes against the principle that most of the democratic world stands on, which is that all political parties, irrespective of their ideology, whether you agree with them or not, unless that ideology threatens the very fabric of the state, should be allowed to take part in a political activism. Now, Awami League has been banned by the Yunus regime in Bangladesh without showing any justification for it, any reasoning for it, and under a terrorism act, meaning that apparently Awami League was active in terrorist activities. Awami League was in government, and when did the party get involved in terrorism? There's no explanation on that. So it is a fundamentally illegal and unconstitutional order. And so far, that particular government, Yunus regime, had been claiming that he has support from the Western world, mainly from the United States and Europe, etc. So, and now it shows that he was just bluffing the people of the country. And this bluff is now evident, and it's prominent. It's all over. It's in front of the people of the country that, he was never supported by anyone. It was just him alongside with some interest groups, pressure groups, and the militants that he eventually freed from the prison, and their supporters who had staged this riotous movement.
But are you happy in some sense that the US is finally publicly taking note, because they were maintaining a conspicuous silence so far? In fact, Western countries, European countries also have, for example, condemned Hadi's killings, but they wouldn't say anything about what happened to Deepu Das, for example. And slowly we are seeing that turning. So what do you make of the US finally coming out and making itself heard?
You see, in the United States, Yunus had been maintaining his position through the Clinton Foundation and the Biden family. it is evident, it is a public record that he had been donating to Hillary Clinton's campaigns and also the Clinton Foundation. His money, basically the money that he had laundered out of Bangladesh, and therefore he had some standing in the State Department because of his influence on the Clinton Foundation and the Biden family. Now that they are no longer in seat of government, they are no longer in power. Of course, that position is no longer the case, at least when with regards to United States. And the current administration in the US, I know there are issues with the trade relationship with different countries, but when it comes to the rise of Islamic extremism, when it comes to radicalization, they are very serious on this matter. Bangladesh may be a small country geographically, but there are 170 million people living in that particular, in our country, and a big diaspora lives in the United States. Now, the government there, the security establishment, the intelligence establishment do realize that if the extremists find a safe haven, and the radical fundamentalists, it's not just the militants who are a problem, but the preachers, those who preach a very extremist fundamentalist interpretation of Islam, if they find a safe haven in Bangladesh, the diaspora that lives abroad, especially in the United States, will be negatively affected in terms of their ideological inclination, their brainwashing, and their own view of the society that they live in. They live in the West, and the United States has slowly woken up to this reality that Bangladesh can pose a serious threat to their own social fabric as well as the region. So, of course, they have therefore expressed that in the absence or the vacuum of not having Awami League in the political place, will pave the path for the extremists to be stronger.
Having said that, many still feel that they're not really addressing this whole rise of Islamism issue in as many words. So maybe there are other back channel avenues that are being used, because you're very right. Rise of Islamism in Bangladesh or anywhere in the world is going to be a concern for the rest of the world. It's not going to be just about India being worried about it. But I also want to ask you, finally, there seems to be pressure building within Bangladesh on Yunus, because Osman Hadi's brother has also pinned the blame on his administration for his brother's killing, and even gone on to suggest that there will be no elections allowed unless there is justice in that case. How do you read that?
You see, the whole incident is shrouded in mystery. The person himself, he was not a politically significant character before his death. He was a fringe element. He was neither taken on by the Yunus's political party nor any other major political party. He was a lone voice. And out of his inner circle, apparently an assailant had attacked him. So who had done this? From where this was planned? None of this is very clear. I mean, this have to be properly investigated. Before anything has been investigated, there had been a lot of instigation by Yunus government's ministers. They had been calling for blood, calling for revenge attacks on whom they were not very clear. And therefore, they were asking the extremist elements, the fringe elements who are now occupying the capital city, to go on a rampage and attack whatever they thought was pro-secular liberal ideology. So they had gone on to attack two media outlets, the Chayanot, the Bengali Cultural Heritage Organization, and Indian High Commission buildings in Chittagong. And my home was also attacked and burned down because they consider me as someone secular and liberal, being part of Bangladesh Awami League. So they had been doing this, and over the last couple of days there was a lot of chaos across the country. One of the hypotheses, at least among some informed quarters, is that this is a plot. This is a plot to create enough trouble in order to postpone the election. If there is an election, I mean, a lot of people are saying that these people speak for the country, for Bangladesh. It's absolutely not true. Because there's such a fringe element, yes, they can gather a big mass because it's pretty easy to bring in a lot of people in one place. I mean, if you give some money, you will have large crowd gathered in Bangladesh. It's a very highly densely populated country with world's most densely populated city as the capital. So getting some people together is an easy job. But getting into government with public mandate through ballot is a very difficult job. So this is what they're concerned about. They're scared about. They will go into political insignificance, irrelevance.
If elections were to happen. But is
Yes.
Yunus feeling the heat finally? Do you feel? Because, his comments on Deepu Datta's killing, the government's views finally coming out or condemnation finally coming out, there is a sense building that now there is at least some pressure on him to control this. Is he feeling the heat?
Of course, he has to feel the heat because he's not in control of the government. Whilst he's not in control of the government, he's trying to create anarchy so that he can show to others that it's not that he is the one who is responsible for the situation that it is Bangladesh is going through. It's just that it's a general chaotic situation and being done by Awami League activists or those who oppose the government. That's what he's trying to prove. But when you look at the behavior of his ministers, they are the ones going out there in public and demanding that people go for revenge attacks. I mean, they have been calling for blood to blood revenge, dead body to dead body revenge. They were calling for martyrdom, just how a jihadist team or a jihadist militant organization would do. So he's instigating them. So therefore he's under pressure now. It is clear to the world, and unfortunately, European Union and the other stakeholders are still in support of him because you've got to understand his business relationship with Europe. He's a partner of Europe's one of the biggest telecommunication company, Telenor. So he's 35% owner of the biggest company of Bangladesh, which is called the Grameenphone, which is majority owned by the Telenor, which is a major conglomerate in European Union. So his investment in Europe and his lobbyists in Europe are still active in his favor, but even they realize that their poster child has failed, and it is time to call a shot on him, and therefore he must leave. I mean, in order to protect their own image.
Absolutely. All right, Mr. Chaudhary, I'll leave it at that. I do thank you for speaking to us.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
I want to begin with Pulla Rao first up. There is this priest at Vijay's rally who said, we have put our concerns ahead of quote-unquote Dravidian parties for very long, but even our most key concerns are not being fulfilled by them. And our entire hope is now on Vijay. He's our savior, our messiah. Is this really troubling the DMK, and could this have real ramifications for the DMK electoral prospects?
You see, basically all minorities in India will go along with the secure option. The DMK is already in power and known force, and there's a good chance of coming back. Why should they go for an untested horse with very long odds?
Maybe they feel Vijay has a real chance?
No, I mean, I would like to say my friend Prasannaji is there. Maybe he has a chance, maybe he doesn't have a chance. But who would you choose? DMK has been making the right sounds. Vijay also has been making sounds. But DMK is in power. They have the gift of giving things away. Just as it was done in Bihar recently, very nicely they pressed the button one day before the election. They did it in Andhra also. They did it in Telangana, they did it in Karnataka. Everyone does it. DMK is in power. DMK hasn't been in power 70 years.
So are you suggesting that apart from these items that I've listed, where they have already made certain concessions or have given out certain benefits to the Christian community, more could follow from the DMK before model code of conduct?
And a vote bank is a vote bank is a vote bank. That's why they call it vote banks. It's like, the hierarchy of the minorities in Tamil Nadu or Kerala and maybe some other states. The hierarchy is very organized in Tamil Nadu and Kerala, and they follow the leadership. The leadership all seem to be sitting with the chief minister. Let's be very balanced about it. How many did you see? The hierarchy is important. The minorities, the Muslims and the Christians have well-structured hierarchies. In Tamil Nadu, it goes back from the Muslim League of Jinnah's days. The same hierarchy goes along getting Muslim votes. And the Christians have educational institutions, trust for the last 100 years. And there's a hierarchy there. So therefore, the hierarchy, the power structure, they're all with the DMK at the moment. Will they change in the next month, 6 months? I don't know. Yes, DMK, Vijay is a fresh face, but he's untested.
But Pulla Rao, will you admit at least that all of these movements we are seeing within the DMK indicate that they are nervous, they are worried, which is why they are also making overt outreach to the Christian community.
If you're not worried, anyone, you lose your elections. You should be worried. You should not be overconfident. You should be very hardworking. All of that.
Hardworking means giving more into the demands of the Christian community, giving more doles or giving more concessions.
I have a long-held belief that a challenger should be stealthy. The challenger makes so much noise that the fellow who is being challenged, he gives everything. As you said, the list is being given as if it is a free checkbook. The challenger should have been more stealthy. Okay. Challenger should have surprised the government. He has said, I'm going to do this, they say, I'm going to do that.
Okay, therefore, interesting. Can I bring in Ms. Prasanna on this? The challenger is too much in the face. He's talking about Vijay, of course, here, which means that the DMK that is already in power and has traditionally held this vote bank like a rock could make moves to negate the Vijay factor well before it becomes, they come to the ballot.
Okay, good evening, everyone. When you say like DMK was holding those vote bank,